7 types of curriculum.
Hello, so good evening everyone. I am with Sir Kevin. Thank you so much sir sa imong time na gihatag ko karon ng kagabi. And ano kay mga gamay na question sir about sa mga curriculum. By the way sir, asa ka nagtudlo sir?
Currently teaching at Paradise Embak National High School sa Pagkabati District, Davao City. I'm a teacher 1 and I am an advisor grade 8 and a teacher of science.
Okay sir, thank you sir. So I have a question here. Our first question sir is for written curriculum. So what format you are using and how often principal check your lesson plan?
So we've tried to use the DLL because I am already 3 years in service, so that's why. So we are now using DLL, so that is so very useful for us, for the teachers, because it guides us on how we are going to deal the instructional materials, at the same time the instructional method that we are going to teach to our students. So basing with our daily lesson log, so in other words, that is our guide for the curriculum that we are teaching. And how often our principal check our DLL? So our principal scheduled us to check it on Monday, and the following week he's going to check also that one in Monday. So every Monday our DLL should be complete in the 5 days of teaching.
Sir Kevin, thank you so much for that answering the question. So the second is it talks about do you have a library or laboratory? Are they our function?
Yes, they are very functional. So first we have the science laboratory. So the science laboratory consists of many different functions, such as the materials that we are going to use, the same time, the time that we are going to use, the scheduled time for the students to go. So 9 a.m. should be the schedule for the grade 7, and then grade 10 should be the schedule for grade 8. So that's it. And then we are already equipping our students how to deal or how to use with the microscope or the different kinds of materials, such as mechanical materials, or such as in handling the materials, because it might damage our students or it might harm our students. That's why we have a precautionary measures for that not to happen, okay, into our schools. And also we have the library by our school library. So he is Sir Janel Tamayo. So he's the one to to observe, to deal with the books, okay, to check with the books, and to give the right data for the students on what books are they going to get or to study. So we have also ample of books there. So we have a lot of books, and also useful books. Especially we have also the Bible, if other students are going to read the Bible, because Bible is very useful for also for the spiritual development of the students.
Alright, thank you sir. This is a recommended curriculum. So the question is, are you using curriculum guide, and where did you base your lesson plan?
Yes, that's very good question. So we are using our curriculum guide strictly, okay, in times of pandemic. So we are facing the time of pandemic now. So we are facing the challenge of pandemic in terms of education. So that's why our Department of Education in National, headed by our very own loving mom, Briones. So they are the one making the new curriculum guide, especially it is education. It is covered with UNESCO, okay. So anchored by the Sulong Educalidad framework. So to continue, okay, for the continuity of education in our country, what we call the MELCs, or shall we say it is the most essential learning competencies. So that is the competency that we are using now because we are facing the pandemic. Okay, what is this MELCs, or most essential learning competency? So it is defined as what the students need, considered indispensable in the teaching learning process to build skills to equip learners for subsequent grade levels and consequently for lifelong learning. So meaning to say, it is simplified, it is shortened, that it could be useful for modular activities. So we have a lot of modalities today. So we have a lot of framework or strategies that we've used, especially this time of pandemic. So first modality that we are using is that the modular learnings. So this MELCs is very useful because it is already equipped with knowledge, with cognitive factor. At the same time, it is strengthened and simplified for the students to answer it very easily.
Alright, sir. So my fourth question is about a hidden curriculum. So what are the practices that the school using?
Okay, so on Monday or in the regular classes, so actually we have at 15 o'clock in the morning, so we have our flag ceremony, and then on Friday we have the flag retreat. So and then after the flag retreat, so we have that kind of energizer, or shall we say the Zumba. So everybody must dance. At the same time, it is led by a student or supreme government, so or the SSG, and then they are going to dance for the energizer. And then after that, so we have also the prayer for the morning prayer, and then after that, so we have the regular cleaning of the
So my
surroundings.
fifth question is about assess curriculum. So how do you assess your student learning in this time of pandemic?
Okay, so an assessment, in terms of assessment, so we've used directly the modular learning. So because of our school is located, or the area of our school is located at the mountaintop area, so that's why we are using modular learning, because not all of our students are going to provide internet. So that's why we come up to the knowledge that we are going to use the what we call the home weekly learning plan. So it consists, or the content of that home weekly learning plan is the guide for the parents on how they are going to assist their students, basing on the answers or basing on the subject matter that is taught, at the same time that is given by the teachers for the students to answers.
So my next question, sir, is about thought curriculum. So the question is, what are the teaching strategies, especially for the slow learners? So are you using games or visual aids?
Okay, some factors, some other what we call teaching strategies, or there are thousands or millions of teaching strategies that we can use in the learning process, for example in the classroom. So for those who are slow learners, so we cannot deny that in a classroom, there is no what we call 100% that are what we call excellent type of students. So there are most likely slow learners, 50 or 35% slow learners. So that is our job as a teacher. We need to find ways and means to kill the cat. So there are a lot of teaching strategies that we can use. Example, we have that what we call mock-ups. We have that with what we call teaching instructions. Yeah, we have what we call teaching guide, teaching factors, or what we call the jokes, or what we call we have a lot of strategies that we can use. Okay, we have also the graphics, so we can use the graphics, or shall we say the internet, we can use that one. We can use the media. Okay, just to catch up the mind and the thinking of that kind of students. So that is what we call a teaching learning process. For the teaching learning process of the students, so we need to deal with what is happening now in the country. Example, social media. So they're very, what we call, vocal, or they are very it is very common for the students. So that's why we can use that one for them to catch up the learning process.
Okay, sir. So finally, we are down to last question. It's about learn curriculum. So, do you have lesson plan?
Yes, of course. I have plenty of lesson plan prepared for my students. So, lesson plan is very helpful for the teachers to give instructions for the learners, especially for what we call the guided question, the guided curriculum that we are using. So, lesson plan is very important in dealing with teaching learning process. So I had prepared a lot of lesson plan in my table, and also every Monday, every week we are going to pass that one for the checking of our lesson plan to our school head or to our principal. And also we need to pass 180 lesson plan, pieces of lesson plan every year. It is because every day we should have a lesson plan. So it is because lesson plan our guide, or shall we say it is our blueprint in teaching. Okay, in teaching the students.
So thank you so much, Sir Kevin. Thanks so much for the time.
Peace, Bob.